Welcome to Washington America Show with international multimedia journalist, multidimensional and multifaceted artist Dr. Kashif Sohail.
In the most extreme sports, minor errors can lead to serious injuries and even death. Many of these injuries can be prevented. Unfortunately, young people who are most likely to engage in extreme sports often lack the good judgment of older adults. Extreme sports, also called action sport and adventure sport, are a media term for certain activities perceived as having a high level of inherent danger.
These activities often involve speed, height, high level of physical exertion, highly specialized gear, or spectacular stunts. Like two sides of a coin, extreme sports come with their own set of advantages and disadvantages. Many times the disadvantages outnumber the advantages. One needs to understand that these extreme sports are mostly meant as a break from life and not something to be included in your regular life.
If they are to be included in regular life, then no person can go far without proper training and equipment. It's up to us to decide what we need to do, how cautious we must be, and what limits we must follow. Proper precautions and training can help us enjoy sports to the fullest. The most common injuries in extreme sports include fractures, strains, sprains, lacerations, bruising, chronic stress fractures, acute head injuries, and more.
Such sports frequently have more risks than traditional sports do, and they just aren't worth the broken bones and broken bodies that come with it. For many kids, there's nothing quite like the exercise and camaraderie you get from being part of a team like a baseball, basketball, football, soccer, softball, or volleyball. Some athletes take things to the next level, though. Rather than playing traditional sports as part of a team, they strike out on their own to engage in sports that provide a satisfying rush of adrenaline. They go to extreme sports.
There's no set definition of what makes a sport extreme. For the most part, though, extreme sports are individual athletic activities that are inherently dangerous in some way. Most extreme sports also provide athletes with what drives many of them to take the risk of participation, the adrenaline rush that makes them feel more alive than they've ever been.
Although not a comprehensive list, here are several examples of the types of activities most people consider to be extreme sports: skateboarding, surfing, bungee jumping, snowboarding, whitewater kayaking, mountain climbing, ice climbing, base jumping, heli skiing, BMX biking, bull riding, cliff diving, mountain biking, cave diving, ski jumping, speed skiing, and street luging.
Just thinking about many of those activities is enough to give most people goosebumps. That very feeling of fear and danger is what drives many extreme sports athletes to test themselves in all sorts of death-defying pursuits. Inherent risks and danger are what make these sports extreme. Watching extreme sports is fascinating, and their popularity has soared in recent years due to frequent exposure to television and social media.
Many extreme sports and their best athletes have become so popular that they have received lucrative sponsorships from a wide variety of companies that want to associate their brands with these cutting-edge thrill seekers. Some sponsorship allows extreme sports athletes to compete in these sports professionally, rather than as merely a hobby.
The best extreme sports athletes can have long and profitable careers, as long as they are true masters of their sport. Unfortunately, when it comes to extreme sports, even the smallest mistakes can have catastrophic, even lethal, effects. Many of these injuries can be prevented. Unfortunately, young people who are most likely to engage in extreme sports often lack the good judgment of older adults. The lure of internet fame leads many inexperienced athletes to attempt things that they're woefully unprepared for.
Extreme sports are popular among the rising generation, as these sports satisfy the mind with the excitement that the mind has thirst for. Extreme sports require athletes to have special traits, including thrill-taking and adventuring, which differentiate extreme sports from any other sport. Unlike regular, extreme sports had been growing rapidly since their introduction. The popularity of extreme sports: with the thrills come extreme risks. An extreme sport is any sport featuring high speed, height, danger, or spectacular movements.
Extreme sports are more popular among young people. We could say that the spectacular stunts used in these sports attract mostly the younger generation. Most participants in these sports put their lives at risk, follow the steps of their idols. Psychologists realize that some people seem to have a strong craving for adrenaline rushes. There has been a noticeable increase in extreme sports being broadcast on television today than ever before.
Extreme sports are more popular among young people. We could say that the spectacular stunts used in these sports attract mostly the younger generation. Most participants in these sports put their lives at risk, follow the steps of their idols. Psychologists realize that some people seem to have a strong craving for adrenaline rushes. There has been a noticeable increase in extreme sports being broadcast on television today than ever before.
Advantages of adventure sport: it keeps us extremely fit. It helps to burn calories and keeps the blood flowing. It stretches the limits of our body little by little, thus helping us become stronger. Just like any other sport, it relaxes one's mind and rejuvenates it. It provides us with new experiences. It gives an opportunity to live life to the fullest and to escape from everyday routine. It gives some thrill to life, and these experiences become great memories to cherish during the routine life. It gives a sense of achievement. It helps build confidence and motivation. This in turn helps people to take risks in their work, where sometimes when needed, people are too timid to take a risk or hard decision. They help get rid of monotonous life as well as frustration, stress, and bad emotions. It helps overcome fear and build strength, physical and mental, endurance, willpower, and responsibility. Added to this, many of the extreme sports are outdoor activities and help us get in touch with nature. Disadvantages of extreme sport: they are very dangerous. It is like putting your life in unnecessary danger just for recreational purposes. There is a very high possibility of injuries even with safety precautions. Many even die trying and performing these feats. It is straining the body out of the comfort zone and may not go down well if the body is not prepared for such a heavy workout, or one is not a regular practitioner of adventure sports. Sometimes a person may not realize the fragility of one's health and may get into trouble. He or she might think they are fit, but such adventure sports increase heart rate, give an adrenaline boost, etc., which can cause even heart attacks. These sports can be traumatic too. If a person is unable to perform satisfactorily in such sports, it can dent the confidence, as many see these sports as proof of guts, daring, and many a times masculinity. Equipment or gears needed may be very expensive. Also, the gear and equipment are mostly for safety purposes. So safety is costly in such sports. Some might get into trouble with the law. Extreme sports athletes also are commonly prosecuted for defacing property and trespassing, as in skateboarders, BMX riders, etc.
Family, relatives, and friends worry about us and our safety. So choosing such a sport takes a toll on them too. They live in fear of our safety. For some sports, to enjoy them in a better manner, one needs to train properly. In such a hectic schedule and fast-paced life, it is difficult to find time for such things.
People, especially youth, showcase this as a projection of their guts and open thoughts. The same youth finds the adventure sport irrelevant for their children when they reach their adulthood or old age. Adventure sports carry safety and security parameters to a very high extent than any other sport. Adventure sports are only for those who are apparently healthy. These sports are definitely full of danger. It is acceptable that we cannot predict life and we never know what would happen to us the next moment. but an adventure sport is like trying out our fate for life, which could be avoided.
Extreme sports are just one way of an adrenaline rush after which we are feeling scared but relaxed. A lot of young people want to try new things, so many of them are after extreme sports that are giving that kind of pleasure. Mostly, people are doing adrenaline sports because they want to be accepted by friends and family as hard and strong guys. List of the extreme sports are long and they are increasing day by day. Some are more fun, some are more dangerous, but you need to be careful whatever sport you choose. It is very easy to break a leg, hand, or get to the hospital by the blink of the eye if you are not careful.
Parents should keep their children safe and away from anything extreme. If a kid really wants to try some adrenaline pump, it should start slowly. It isn't easy to set foot in any extreme sport, but firstly parents always give kids roller skates with full safety equipment. Even if they fall they will remain safe. Even if you want or not want to choose some adrenaline extreme sports, you first need to think carefully about that. It is very good for most people when they get their blood pumped faster through their veins, but also deadly. If you have bad health, you could end up with a heart attack or something similar. Before choosing some great sport from a list of extreme sports, remember to go to the doctor and see if your body can handle that amount of stress.
Please share the video, subscribe to our channel.